Dear students, welcome to Sia's digital classes. Today's concept is advantages and disadvantages of non-parametric test. So let us learn non-parametric test and what are its advantages, disadvantages. Why we'll go for non-parametric test. Let us discuss. So non-parametric test. Non-parametric test is a statistical test in which parameters such as mean, variance is not involved. So till now, whatever we have done, large sample, small sample tests, there definitely we used to drag a distribution. We used to have mean, variance, standard deviation like that. We used to have some values over there so that we can go for a particular test or particular distribution, and we used to obtain our test statistics, right? So in non-parametric, what happens is we don't have any parameter, we don't have any mean variances, so that we can go for a particular test to handle the data. So data will be in such a way that their mean variances will not be specified. So in such type of data, we will go for non-parametric test. So let us check it out one more point. What is there for non-parametric test? So frequency function of sample is unknown. Frequency functions also will not be known, so that like we'll get from normal population, binomial population like that. So no clue will be there, no particular data, that particular data will not fall into any particular type of frequencies. So we cannot go for any type of small or large samples. Other than that, we have to go for non-parametric tests. So that is your second point. Now let us check it out next. Specific distribution of data is not followed. So distribution also will not be, we can't take particular distribution based on the data. We can't shift for the particular distribution like binomial, Poisson. We can't get any type of distribution according to the given data. Will not get any clue that this can be done with the binomial, this can be done with Poisson like that. We can't go for any type of distribution. So in such situations, we'll go for non-parametric tests. Now let us check it out one more. No assumption about population is made. So using the data also, we can't take any assumption that from which data or from which population it has been specified. We can't judge here. So all these situations, based on these situations, we can't justify, we can't take any type of formula, like we can't go for the binomial, Poisson or normal. So in such situations, we'll go for non-parametric test. So that is your non-parametric test about. So let us check it out some examples when non-parametric tests will be, and under what type of test we can handle this non-parametric. So here are some examples: chi-square test, Wilcoxon test, sign test, Mann-Whitney test. These are all we can use to handle our non-parametric tests. So next, reasons behind the increased use of non-parametric test research are. So let us check it out. What are the reasons why we are going for non-parametric test? Most of the time it is very helpful. Why? Let us check it out, the reasons here. So they are easy to calculate, understand and handle when compared to parametric test. So non-parametric tests are a bit easier if you compare with the parametric, because here there will be no particular distribution, there will be no particular reason like this only you have to handle. Definitely we need mean, definitely we need variance, like that conditions will not be for us. So it will be easy for us to handle the test with a simple format, with the simple formulas we can handle this. So it is easy to calculate. So next point, they can be used with all kind of information and data. Yes, we can use any kind of data here, because the data we don't have any particular distribution, or we don't have any particular parameters over there. Just now we discussed in non-parametric definition, right? So no specified particular like we should go with this test like that, we don't have any clue over there. So definitely we can utilize the information. Based on the information, we can stick to the any type of data. Based on the data, with the ease of taking the data, we can go with a particular different type of formulas based on that data. So it will be a bit easy to handle it, because there is no restrictions, lot of restrictions will not be, so we can handle it easily. So that is your second point. Next, they do not depend on distribution pattern of a given data. Yes, We don't have any distribution at all, so no patterns for that. The assumption that must be considered while performing non-parametric tests are as follows. Next, some assumptions also we have. Let us check it out that. So distribution patterns are not there. That is your third point. Why we'll mostly go for non-parametric. So that is the reasons. Now let us check it out. Assumptions also. Now assumptions how we'll consider for non-parametric. Let us check it out. The sample observations must be independent is the first point. So whatever observations we are considering here, they must be independent observations should be there. So that is your first assumption. Next, the variables and the probability function must be continuous. So variables and probability function, whatever we are considering, that is continuous, will be considering here. So that is the second assumption. Next, the order of movements must be low. So order of movements, low order movements will be considering here. So these are the assumptions we have. Next, let us check it out. Advantages of non-parametric test. So first point, they are easily accessible. Yes, just now we discussed, because we don't have particular pattern, particular distribution to handle. So it will be a bit easier for us to access that one. So next, second point, they are simple and easy to implement. So while performing test statistics also, it will be easier to handle, because no particular distribution, no particular mean and variances will be there. So we can handle it will be handling will be easier. So next, third point, they do not require complex sample theory. So yes, complex theory will not be there, because it will be very simple. Simple data will be there, so handling will be a bit easier for us. So complex sample theory probabilities will not be, so will be easy to handle. So next, they do not require any assumption regarding the form of frequency function of a parent population on which sampling is done. So whatever the parent population we are considering, parent population in the sense, from particular population will drag the data, right? So there is no particular assumptions will be there for that data, like it should be coming from the normal population. We have to implement binomial like that, and no conditions for the parent population, but whatever the data we are dragging, whatever the sample we are dragging out of it, there will be no conditions for that. So that is your fourth point. Next, they deal with the types of data which are measured using nominal scale. So this point we can discuss in a nominal scale. Check it out the another session where we have discussed about the different types of scales. So for here, they deal with the types of data which are measured using nominal scale. In the sense, nominal scale, a particular type of data where we'll consider particular type of data. In that situations, we can use non-parametric. So that is one of the advantage here they specified. Now let us check it out. Sixth point, they are used in applications like psychometry, sociology, and education statistics. So these are different types of branches where we can utilize our non-parametric tests. Next, seventh point, they can be applied on those data types that are associated with ranks. So many times what happens is, directly will not get the marks, or directly will not get the percentages. We'll get some symbols, we'll get some ranks. In such situations, we can't go with the parametric test, because we don't have numbers, means we can't go with any type of test. So simply they'll give some ranks, simply they'll give some symbols, and they want to represent the data. So in such situations, we'll go for non-parametric. So that is also one of the advantage. If the data is in terms of ranks and all, we can go for non-parametric test. So that is your one of the advantage of non-parametric. Now let us check it out the disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages of using non-parametric? So they are applicable only for nominal and ordinal measurements. So it will not be implemented for each and every type of data. One of the that is only for nominal and ordinal measurements it is useful, not for the other. So that is one of the disadvantage we are considering here. So nominal and ordinal measurements we'll discuss in the another session, where how the data will be. Based on that, we have titles as nominal and ordinal. So for these type of data only it is applicable. Another ratios and another methods we have there, it is not useful. So that is one of the disadvantage we have. Next, second disadvantage, they are time consuming if the given data satisfy the assumption made in statistical model. So if it is a statistical model, so it takes a bit time, because we need to check it out the data. If it is in ranks, I said in ranks, in symbol wise they'll give the data, so sorting will be bit time consuming. So that is one of the disadvantages that they have specified here. So next, they do not support analysis of variance test for interactions until some assumptions are made about the additively of the model. So they do not support analysis of variance test for interactions until some assumptions are made, in the sense whatever the assumptions we are considering, if variance test has been included, so it is not so supportive in this non-parametric test they are specifying here, because here we don't have any mean variances properly. So we'll drag our own test here, like sign test, rank test. We'll discuss in further videos how the data will be based on that, how this test will go on. So in such situations, assumptions will not be proper, they are specifying here, because we don't have variances at all. So next point, they can perform only statistical hypothesis test but cannot be used for estimating the parameters. So they can perform statistical hypothesis, we can give the hypothesis, but most of the time for estimating parameters we can't go for non-parametric, because we don't have parameters in this test, then only we are going for non-parametric, right? So obviously we cannot estimate if the parameters are specified, and if you want like binomial, if you want out of the data, we can't get, because we don't have success and failure parameters over there. So in such way we can't handle if we want to estimate the parameters. So that is a one of the disadvantages we have. So these are all non-parametric concepts, advantages and disadvantages of non-parametric. So definition and all the assumptions whatever we have. So hope you have understood this concept of non-parametric test. See you all in the next session. Thank you.